Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hello world, welcome to yet another live The Lockergnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. I have to put the in there, the. I have no idea how long this broadcast is going to be. It's largely contingent on you, because I decided to do a live stream last week for TLDR on Friday, kind of a nice way to round out the week. I do my best to set it at a time where I know people from around the world might be able to tune in. I ran over with a few scheduled appointments today, so I'm sorry if you happen to live in the UK, and I know there are plenty of supporters who live in the UK and all around the world. In fact, go ahead, drop a comment, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm assuming you like the live Lockergnome Daily Reports, or the Lockergnome Daily Reports, TLDRs. So if you do, thanks for liking. I will continue to do these live broadcasts for you every Friday, whenever I can, hopefully every Friday, every single Friday, if you guys show up, or if you participate, or if you like it. So as long as, at this point, we stay above that 1,000 like, what would you call that, achievement? Can you get achievements on YouTube yet? I don't know if you can, but let's just say that's an achievement if we make that mark, so that I know you want me to do this live. It's kind of like an Ask Me Anything. Anything goes. Anything that might be on your mind. Anything that I may not have already answered in social or on YouTube or beyond. I am enjoying a nice Imperial Stout here. Love it. Even though I'm breaking a sweat. What do you guys think? I'm going to disrobe here during the live this is a different kind of live show I think anybody was expecting. There you go, nice little shirt underneath. Okay, I feel much more free. Do you feel free? Someone from Portugal. Hello. Michigan, California, South Africa, North Carolina. Is no sound? You should have sound. Well, you obviously have sound because people could hear. Right, baby? There's sound, right? Someone says no sound. I don't know if that means that... I see sound tracking here. Do you see sound tracking there? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, there's sound. Don't say things in the comments that I'm going to read. Well, wait, no, say things in the comments that I'm going to read. It'd be great. I do have something to kind of get the conversation started. One, I have not yet opened my Ouya. I have received an Ouya before this one and unboxed it, which is a video that has not been uploaded to this YouTube channel yet, and that might happen over the course of this weekend. And so I haven't opened this. And minutes before, I showed that Ouya in yesterday's TLDR though, so it's like that shouldn't come to a surprise to anybody. Minutes before starting this live stream, I received this in the mail, the new Airport Extreme, that has support for 802.11 AC, which has not been ratified. But more than anything, the reason why I have purchased two of these is to replace my current Airport Extremes, which would have been the most recent Airport Extremes up until this generation Airport Extreme, if only because they've added technologies and optimized the antenna to allow for better throughput, even if you don't have a newer 802.11 AC device, which I do not. I do not even have a device that could support that networking standard, that wireless or Wi-Fi standard. But it should improve throughput for all the other connected devices that we have here in the house. So I'm going to be installing the new Airport Extremes in the house today. I don't think I'm going to do it during this broadcast, otherwise it'll go down because the internet connection is going through this camera and it won't work. So how about we start with, as we wait for some questions to roll in, and Diana is watching the YouTube comments, so if you see some good comments as I'm unboxing, feel free to throw them out there with the username, and if I haven't already answered it, and Diana doesn't know, whatever.
I said hi.
Diana says hi. I think you just told him you said hi, hon. So this means I'm going to have an adventure re-optimizing the wireless network, because they don't have a new Airport Express, and I'm going to be replacing the Airport Express with the second Airport Extreme to extend the network, but it may not be in the same position. It is a pain to optimize your wireless network, because the thing is, you can get a repeater and put it somewhere, but just because you have a repeater picking up the signal doesn't mean it's in the optimal place. You have to constantly walk around watching and monitoring your throughput. And my recommendation for that is using software called Speed Test. I know you probably run that on the web. It's available for all of the platforms. Let me see if I can find if I've got Speed Test here. System. Where the hell did I put that? I know I have it. I know it's here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to search for it. I have too many apps installed. So basically, you walk around the house with the key positions where you have your current positions for your wireless access points, and then you make sure you're getting optimum throughput. And just by moving something a few feet, you're... Wicked, are you okay? Did you just hear he just ran into the room? What was up with that? You have to optimize the network, and that is largely contingent on the position of the repeater. So even if you have one, check to make sure. I recommend walking around with speed test and getting that and constantly moving that repeater into an optimal position. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this as I wait for people to ask me questions. And according to Diana being silent, there are no questions. This is great. They just want to see an unboxing here. How do I... Okay, I was wondering how I unbox it, and apparently it just slides out of the bottom ever so slowly. Got to be careful because I don't want to do that. Empty box! There we go. Look at that. So it looks radically different from earlier Airport Extremes, if only because it's taller. So the antenna should be able to reach at a greater distance, which likely means I'm going to have to set up the repeater at a further point away from the originating signal so that it's optimal. Otherwise, you are just going to end up with tons of problems. Let's see here. What do we have on the bottom? Oh, so we remove the sticker on the bottom. Oh, it's an Apple logo. Even on the sticker. Let me see if I can get it to reflect just right. Look at that. There's an Apple logo there on the bottom as well. And it's wrapped in another sheet of plastic. Cellophane. It's like I'm playing color forms here. Do not need that. Wicket, don't walk into it. Okay. Right on the back here, we have gigabit Ethernet ports, a USB port for, printer or any kind of AirPlay speakers. The power port, you're sticking the power cable. And that's pretty much it. So the antenna are up here. And this should provide, again, a more powerful signal. This also means I will no longer need my current gen or previous gen Airport Extreme or current gen Airport Express. So if anyone wants to buy those from me, drop me a line, make me a bid on a good price. If you want me to, I'll autograph it. Diana will autograph it. Wicket will autograph it if you want. Make a good bid. Chris@Pirillo.com. I'm entertaining serious inquiries only, but I'll have no need for them after today, after I get it all set up. So here's the rest of the box. Not really much inside. You don't really need much other than the power cable so that it has power. Rest of the box. That's all. That's it. And a setup guide, which is really simple. Honestly, having used so many access points over the years, I have been happiest with Apple's, not because I'm an Apple fanboy, but because it really genuinely works. It optimizes your use of the network and will let you know when you have a problem before there's a problem. And I never used another router that did just that. Super easy to use, even if you have no other Apple products in your house. Believe that or not. I made that leap from another series of routers years ago and have not looked back since. Very happy to say that this will be powering my network within hours. I'm kind of excited. I want to do the live broadcast here, but I'm also really excited about being able to try this because it's new for me, and I love new hardware. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love new hardware? Boxers or briefs? I actually go with boxer briefs. Sentai Brad asks, so Chris, why do you prefer Apple? I honestly do not quite like them. They make decent products, but am very open source mod-centric person. Well, Apple supports open source as well. Hello, it's based on FreeBSD. Like their packages you can install on OS X easily, right out of the box. It's not even a challenge, right? There are several open source ports that you can bring into OS X. In fact, I would go as far as to say that OS X is probably more open source friendly than Windows is, which isn't to say that Microsoft isn't open source friendly. They are. Of course, if you want full on open source, OS X is obviously not it. But I think in terms of liking open source and wanting open source, you can still install open source software onto a machine running OS X just as you could a machine running Linux, straight up. And it's okay. You can dislike as many companies as you want. It's your choice. You have to live with your choices. And I like it, generally speaking, because it just works. It may not be perfect, but I don't have to worry about certain things that other people have to worry about, and I think that's what I appreciate most. And the older you get, the more important your time is. And I'm pushing 40. In fact, I'm going to be celebrating my 40th birthday in less than a month. And so I only have so much time left on this earth, and I'd rather not spend that time futzing with things that just are a waste of time. So I like cutting down the amount of time that I spend on things that just seem to be pointless to be wasting time on. Thoughts on Google reportedly working on a new gaming console? I talked about it in yesterday's TLDR, so you can listen there. See, I hate answering the same questions that I've answered over and over again because it gets repetitious for the people who pay attention. Let's see here. People, it's really difficult to pick up questions in these live YouTube broadcasts. Jake's Own Films product. Could you see iMac have a Retina display in the future? And do you like the design of the new versions of iMac from last year? And what do you think should have changed? I'm ambivalent. I'm confident that iMacs in the future will have a Retina quality display, even though they have a higher density display now. Not quite Retina, or what Apple would advertise as Retina. The writing's on the wall. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. It's a lack of materials as well as a balance of pricing for consumers. And I think most displays, as a matter of fact, will be going higher density. Not just smaller displays, but certainly computers that could run any operating system. We're not just talking about Apple having a corner on that market. Obviously, there are tons of high resolution displays available out there for consumers to use. In fact, Windows 8.1 now supports high definition displays. Joe's Tech TV, and I'm just taking these questions as I see them here. 13-inch refurbished MacBook Air or 2013 MacBook Air? I don't know. It's up to you. They're two different things there. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to save money, go with a refurb. If you don't want to save money, go with a 2013 MacBook Air. There you go. You want something newer? Go with a newer one. If you don't want something newer, if you don't care, go with the refurb. You guys, I got to teach you how to ask these questions a little more clearly so that when I'm reading them, especially live, I can answer them directly. Rafi R asks, why haven't you jailbroken any of your devices? Because, it would have been fun to do if I was a kid and had a lot of time on my hands, but I'm not a kid anymore, and I don't have a lot of time on my hands, and I want something to work. When I pick up a device, I just want it to work. I don't want it to be fancy schmancy, buggy. I just want it to work. Period. End of story. If you want to do it on your own, fine. Knock yourself out. I'm not taking away from that. If you've got plenty of time on your hands, go for it. It's just that when I pick up my phone, I don't care about anything other than it doing what I need it to do at the time I need it to do it. And unfortunately, by jailbreaking, I'm introducing an array of likely problems. In fact, every time someone's showing me, I can jailbreak and I do this, and then I see the device reboot, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm not doing that. It's just why. That's really the bottom line is instability. Chris, should I get an SSD or HHD or both in one? Asks Alex and Alan 1. I believe, for me, and I've gone back and forth on this with different people. It depends on what you want. If you want higher capacity, go hard drive. You want faster, you should probably go with an SSD. But having that hybrid model, if you can get a hold of one, I think is a good compromise between the two, because you get speeds that approach SSD but still have the opportunity to give you access to the capacity that you might need. So if you find the right hybrid drive, I think that's probably the best bet between. But in terms of battery life, in terms of raw speed, in terms of support and stability, I would say going SSD. But that's my choice, right? And I don't value storage capacity as much as I value speed. You may have different values. So it's a difficult question to answer, but you have to think really, really hard about what it is you want most. What it is you want most. Let's see here. What kind of questions do you answer here? Random or electronically based? Well, both, I guess. That was asked by Bob Garrison. One Deal says, I like you so much better drunk, Chris. I'm not drunk. I hate to disappoint. Just because I have 2 sips of beer does not knock me out. See here. Programmer's Web asks, do you miss the good old early tech days when websites were crappy gradients, solid colors, and buttons were gray squares? I kind of do. In fact, I was discussing this the other day with somebody. When I registered lockergnome.com back in the day, I registered it in links in a text-based web browser. That's how I registered my first domain. For almost, I think it was $100 too. I mean, you could only go through one provider at the time. This is a long time ago. Man, those were the days. I mean, it's just something about the classic net, and the way it worked. Certainly nothing like live video. That is for sure. We'd be lucky to have pictures that updated every 5 minutes, or to be able to even view the pictures in general. It's kind of how old it was. That's how old I am. I do, before I forget, want to remind everybody that we have a new deal on deals.lockergnome.com. If you are a Mac user, we can save you 50% on Moneydance if you're trying to manage your personal finances using your Mac. If you want Mac software, that's something to take a look at if that's on your radar. You could also use services like Mint, which is now owned by Intuit. Hasn't evolved that much since being acquired by Intuit, which is a bit disappointing. I used to really like the idea of Mint taking in all your various accounts, which is, again, a bigger deal for people who are adults, maybe not the kids in the audience who don't really have to manage finances as much, but it's still important, and there's software that can help. I remember back in the day, you guys want to go classic, go to YouTube, which you're obviously here at YouTube, and look for, where are you going, hon? Oh. Okay. Look for a cartoon, Scooter Computer, and Mr. Chips. Go ahead, look at that. That's the way home computing was for us. Go ahead, look it up. That's how I grew up with home computers. I get nostalgic on Fridays for some reason. It always happens. I get caught up and I look up old 70s and 80s TV commercials and cartoons and then watch them on Friday night. It's a lot of fun for me. So there you go. I think I remember the theme, too. Scooter Computer and Mr. Chips. He's got the answers at his fingertips. Even though I don't know if I'm in tune. I don't think I've ever been in tune, even when I was close to being in tune. Amy V asks, where did you meet your wife? I have answered that question quite a few times, but you could probably... When was the last time we talked about it? We Meet My Girlfriend, I think, in the YouTube. If you look that up, there's the full story. That's Diana's first appearance on YouTube ever, and we go into detail there as I'm assembling some kind of Lego set. So we met online. That's the short of it, and I don't want to spend too much time since I've already kind of I've gone over that. But thank you, Amy, for asking that question. She must be a new person to the community. You're welcome, by the way, for coming. I'm saying not you're welcome. Not saying you said thank you. I'm saying you're welcome to join us here in the community as I'm like breaking a sweat. Boy, I'm trying to cool down. Why is it so hot in here?
Can we turn it up?
No, I don't want you to turn it up. I want you to turn it down. Enough of the up. Go down. Let's get down. Huh. Okay, see here. Do you think, this is asked by Enad 1080p, do you think the next iPhone should come with a bigger screen? I do not. I mean, would I say that's a horrible thing? No, but honestly, having used a variety of devices, especially those with larger screens than the one the current iPhone supports, the one thing I always keep coming back to is that single-handed operation. And I appreciate the size of this. Would I like it bigger? I suppose, but it would just create different usability issues. And I have no problem necessarily navigating this with a single hand or a thumb, specifically the keyboard. And the moment it gets larger, I can no longer operate it with a single hand, and I have done that at times in the past. So would Apple go that direction? It's a possibility. Would it be something that I would want to see with the next iPhone? Not necessarily. I think that as far as today's technology is concerned, keeping that usability of a single hand in mind, I think they've got about the most optimal product that they could at this stage. And it may change at some point in the future. I don't see the screens getting smaller. I don't know if I see them getting bigger, though. I could be wrong, though. I don't know much about Apple's R&D, nor does anybody, unless, of course, you work for Apple with R&D. The Bicentric asks, have you ever used Windows Vista as your primary operating system, and how long did you use it before changing? Oh, maybe a week. And that was it. Socially Awkward says he's reading comments from Google+, not from Hear You Morons. Lamau. Well, who's the moron now? Because I'm obviously reading this on the YouTube page. Favorite movie? I've answered this before, but it just depends on my mood. Really, some of these questions are really difficult to answer. Would an external antenna, asks Ryan Peck, be better than an internal antenna based on the new airport router you just unboxed? Not for the airports. They're really optimized as these all-in-one type of units. Potentially for other types of access points, it would be better to have external antenna. It all depends on positioning and signal strength and being able to modify that. I've never had an issue. In fact, even in the same positions, the Apple airports, I've had like 3 generations, have always provided a stronger signal to all my devices than any other wireless router I've ever used. So I expect the signal will be potentially just as great. Let me go ahead. Do you see any other questions, hon? I'm going to unbox the Ouya. This Ouya, even though this is not an official, well, I guess it's kind of an official unboxing. I'm going to be posting a separate video with the unboxing, though, into this channel, with the one that I was able to play with. Ah! Okay, now that there's the controller, right there. Ouya, very comfortable. Now, the thing to keep in mind with the Ouya, and so begins the revolution. The thing to keep in mind with this particular product is it's going to improve over time. There are not a lot of games available for the Ouya yet. This is it. That's the game console right there, running Android. So I expect more games to be available. I got one now because I figured, well, why not, right? $99, Geek Impulse Buy territory. I expect the game library to grow. Although now that Google's doing, as was asked of me earlier, and as I mentioned yesterday, Google's doing its own Android console, I expect this Android gaming market to accelerate. Because if you release an Android game for Google's Android game console, well, the chances of it being ported to Ouya pretty high. So I think no matter which Android console or gaming console you decide to go with, I think it's a surefire bet that it's going to be around for a while, and certainly like $99 today. I don't know if it's necessarily worth that money. A year from now, quite possibly. So I figured, hey, why not get it now? You know, just to see what the whole fuss is about, and just say that I could try it so that I have got an opinion on it. Because instead of talking about something without having formed an opinion, which a lot of people are intent to do, right? They get on YouTube, they talk about something they've never used, and they talk as though they're an expert or they're experienced in something, and they're not. They haven't tried it before, and that's very frustrating when I listen to someone to listen to them talk about something as if they've experienced it. And that's the one thing I do my best to do is to have experiences so that I can speak from experiences, which I believe is extremely valuable for the greater community, no matter how you find us or why you stick with us. By the way, we've posted a new article on lockergnome.com, 10 reasons to use deal sites. I'm a big fan of deals. I mean, if only because the number one reason, deal sites will save you money. Communities that surround deal sites have your best interests at heart. So sometimes when you guys comment on lockergnome.net or you ask in a comment thread, someone else will jump in with an answer. And sometimes when you talk to the community, any community, they are going to know more than you know. And when you're looking to buy something, you want to save money, and you want to talk to people who may have experiences. Because even though something looks like it's a bargain, let's say it's a piece of junk. I mean, you could save 50% on a piece of junk. You're still buying a piece of junk. The community can stop you from making a bad buy. Deal sites help you make comparisons as well. So you could go to buy something thinking you're going to buy it and then see that there's a competitive product which may be similarly priced but gets better reviews. Well, a deal site is going to help surface, potentially through the community, any kind of alternative which may steer you to a better direction and make you happier than you would have been before. Deal sites can also be very entertaining. I've been known to get lost in deal sites for a while, going there for one thing and then just learning that I want other things that I didn't realize I wanted, or realizing that there are new things that are going to be coming out that I had no idea even existed. So they can help you find alternatives. They can free up your resources so you can buy other things. Come on, you're saving money. What are you going to spend the money? You're going to have to spend the money eventually because you can't take it with you when you die. And you could. I suppose technically speaking, you could get buried with it, but that's no fun. Deal sites help round out and complete to-do lists. They help publicize good and bad products and services. They can help you monitor competition, and they can help you sniff out job opportunities. Now, that's an interesting angle to take with deal sites. So people ask all the time, what career path should I go down, Chris? I'm a geek, and I love this. What should I be when I grow up? Well, I don't know what I am, and I've allegedly grown up. When you look at deal websites, you'll start to notice trends, things that are selling, hot sellers, and that's usually a good market that you might want to go into. Of course, you got to be careful. You don't want to skate to where the puck is. You want to skate to where it's going to be. So it gives you a greater idea of general trends so that you can better tailor what it is that you might want to pursue. Or you get an idea of what people want. So let's say you go to a deal site and you see, boy, a lot of people are buying these SSDs. They're a hot product. You then should learn more about SSDs to become a resource. So when people ask you a question about an SSD, you can inform them. You can become that resource or get training in it, certification in something so that you can be where that demand is. So, I mean, you got to think a little deeper than it just saves you money. And we just thought we'd break it down for everybody because, well, I'm kind of addicted to deals. I don't take advantage of every deal. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I don't have unlimited resources. Cameron Haneker asks, did Vloggerfair have a Gnomedex-like atmosphere? It did. It really did. And part of that was the community spirit, the feeling of belonging and coming together and having that same energy in the room. And we are going to continue to grow that. And so I was very happy to see the Gnomedex spirit very much alive at Vloggerfair. Jason Garvey asks, why does the C930 software not work with the Mac? And do you think it will soon? He's talking about this particular webcam from Logitech, which I highlighted in yesterday's TLDR. I also uploaded sample footage from that to my Facebook page, facebook.com/chrispirillo. I'm not using Logitech software. I'm not a fan of Logitech software at all. Hardware seems to be okay. So I'm just using the QuickTime software on OS X to record from that webcam. So you don't need to install third-party software on OS X to use the webcam. I couldn't speak for Windows. Amanda Austin says, hi, Diana, you're beautiful. Not really a comment, or I'm sorry, not really a question. It was a comment.
Hi, Amanda.
Yes, any questions from the female side of our audience for Diana? She's here too, to ask her anything, although I can't promise she's going to answer. Kenneth Clements asks, is the Lenovo Yoga... She needed a computer. Yeah, she's running in Windows 8.1 right there. See? Is it worth the money? Try doing that with your notebook computer. No, don't. Actually, don't try that at home if your notebook computer can't do something like that. I think as far as Ultrabooks are concerned, as I said when I was doing the unboxing, I like the fact that it's lightweight. It is probably what Microsoft had in mind as what an OEM might be able to do with Windows 8 and or Windows 8.1 or anything in the series to kind of combine the best of a touchscreen experience, which, let's see, there we go, scrolling up and down, touchscreen experience with a traditional trackpad or touchpad, keyboard, and it's very, very lightweight, extremely lightweight. So is it worth the money? If you're looking for a Windows 8 machine, I think you might consider it.
I like it.
Diana likes it, and she doesn't say that about everything. Believe you me, I get a lot of I don't like this. Probably more I don't like this than anything else. Because I have things that Diana doesn't like. Like, we're drawing a blank right now, but I'm just saying that there are certain things that I like that she doesn't like. The Locker Gnome Daily Report is brought to you by GoToMeeting with HD Faces. You can escape the office this summer and stay connected to your team. Use GoToMeeting by Citrix, the powerfully simple way to meet online. Share the same screen to collaborate in real time. Turn on your webcam to see each other in HD video. Launch or join a meeting using your computer, smartphone, or tablet. Even though I did not use GoToMeeting today, I plan on using it next week to meet with people on the Vloggerfair team. And I'm making mention of this in a future vlog, but we are looking for a sales. We can't just take anybody just because they want to do it. But we're now using GoToMeeting to meet with each other instead of driving to the same spot because we all work remotely. It's easy to use GoToMeeting. It's a perfect use case for it. You can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Pirillo. And I assume you know how to spell my last name by now. Renee Aravallo, who I'm going to be doing an interview with this Sunday in GoToMeeting, as a matter of fact, because he won the contest with the giveaway, that webcam that we teased for quite some time. He says, once you play the Ouya outright, could you please post a short video on your thoughts? Yes, I will. And that's a part of the series. I've already recorded 3 videos, including some initial experiences. I will have to post a separate video on longer-term experiences with the Ouya. And so you can stay tuned for that. Thank you, Renee, for asking. If you want to ask me an interview question, Renee and I are collecting them for that GoToMeeting experience, which will be recorded and uploaded to this YouTube channel. Thanks again to Citrix, our sponsor. It's happenstance. Serendipity. I turn here and the top question is from Renee. That's crazy. Pirilloception. Oh, because I was holding up the video thing and there I was I was like, what? That's kind of crazy. Let's see here. I'm looking for questions. Do you see any questions here, hon?
I saw one. They asked what kind of hair products you used in your hair.
I use no hair product other than water. Oh, and this is not really a hair product, but it is something that I discovered today. Did you guys know that you could buy TRON cologne? It's right there on Amazon. I got the link, or I'll put the link in the video's description for like $10. You can smell like TRON. I totally want this. I put it on my wish list. And if I don't get it through my wish list, I might buy this. It's TRON. And it gets good reviews, too. I've got Star Trek cologne. So just to know that I could walk out and, like, be smelling like TRON. Whatever TRON would smell like. What would TRON smell like? We now know what TRON would... I love TRON. TRON fan right here. So, just so you know, posted that to the social feeds. Everyone got a kick out of it, and I think I sold at least one of those.
Oh, cool.
Even though I don't know what it's... Someone's going to buy it for her husband.
Oh, yay.
See, I do my best to, it's not about just the guys. It's the guys and the girls. We try to bring things together, especially with the vlogs. So, is Amy still there? Amy, leave a comment if you're still there. I don't know if she dropped out. I want to, make sure that she was good because, she did ask the question where we met, and I don't know if she got the answer that she was looking for. Alan Sharky Vlogs asks, are you coming back to the UK? The answer is yes. I just don't know when. Yao So Gangster asks, do you have any family? Yes. I wasn't hatched. Raffi R, what's your opinion on mobile flash? My opinion is it should die sooner rather than later. Sunlee6512 asks, does IE11 suck? I wouldn't say it sucks. May not be for you, but it doesn't suck. It's a browser. It depends on what you want from the browser. If you were to sit there and say it's not Google Chrome, well, duh, it's Internet Explorer. So I'm not gonna say it sucks. Because it just depends on the type of person you are, the type of user you are, what you need from your browser. What's the battery life on the Yoga like? Standard, fair. The same as just about any Ultrabook currently out there, or at least previous generation, not running on the Haswell platform from Intel. Pretty standard. Andrew Epperson says hello. Hey, Andrew. Haven't seen you in a while. Happy Friday, he says to Chris and Diana. MC Tano asks, what are your thoughts on Microsoft products and their software direction? Do you think Microsoft is making too many mistakes? I have spoken to this over time, and I think, as I referenced earlier this week, with Microsoft, I think they're making the right moves in going a more open route, porting some of their games, to the Xbox games, to beyond the PC, to iOS and Android, and opening up Xbox Music to the web. That's the right direction they need to take. I think it's smart. That's the way that Microsoft's going to survive. So I think by opening the playing field, so not just running on Microsoft hardware or technologies or their software, their platforms, opening it up is extremely smart for them to do. Now, in terms of their own software, well, if you like Windows, I don't want to, mess with you at all. I think they made a few mistakes in the usability with Windows 8, but some people are fine with it. I think OEMs are doing their best in wrestling with the paradigm that Microsoft has constructed. There are better experiences with Windows on certain machines than on others, at least as far as Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 is concerned. And once you're over that hump of what you're using that computer for, and you figure your way around it, generally speaking, if you're fine with Windows, I think you'd be fine with Windows. So I hesitate to take Microsoft to task beyond what I've already taken them to task for, because I don't want, people, they think I'm slagging all the time, and I don't slag all the time. I give Microsoft credit where I think credit is due, but I'm also not going to let them get away with usability nightmares. Of course, I've said the same thing about early betas of iOS 7. So it remains to be seen whether or not Apple's going to make not the exact same mistakes, but if they're going to have enough spit and polish before that's finally shipped. But again, difficult to pass judgment on a beta product that is likely to change versus a final product that did not change. Josh Wright asks, will you still get Google Glass? I've gone back and forth on this, but I found out today that Wondershare is going to help me get Google Glass. So it is going to happen. Got to coordinate some details with Google. Likely going to get down to San Francisco to pick it up. Wasn't cheap. So I want to make sure I got my costs covered. That's where Wondershare came in. So what we'll likely do is that'll be vlogged, the experience going down there. It'll be vlogged, the whole unboxing, the first experiences. That'll be recorded, put in this channel. And then, of course, we'll also be using Google Glass, Diana and myself, around the vlog. So we'll walk around with Google Glass. It'll look better on Diana than it will on me because I'll be like this. I'll have the glasses here, and I'll have the Google Glass up there because, you know, I'm not going to get contacts just to have Google Glass. Or maybe I'll take off my glasses and then run into things when I'm wearing Google Glass. Yes. So it is going to happen thanks to Wondershare. Had to throw that out there. We're recorded today. It won't be uploaded for a couple more days. So you guys are kind of, for tuning in, you guys are getting a sneak peek. And by the way, thank you. I will continue to do these live TLDRs, answering questions, engaging, doing the stuff that I normally need to do. And with you, if we hit 1,000 or more likes every week, and when the day that stops or the week that stops, then I'm going to wrap it up because then I'll know that you guys aren't really interested or engaging, or I'm not doing what you guys need me to do. Beauty of Scent. Chris, how did you find that hot wife of yours? So did what was it, Amy? Did Amy come back? Or did she just drop off the...
I haven't seen her yet.
Oh, no. I feel bad. Well, because, I mean, I hope maybe she's watching the other video. I didn't mean to be rude. It's just, we only have so much time to do the live stuff, and I want to try to do new stuff, not just go over the same stuff over and over again, you know? She met me, really. That's kind of what it boiled down to. She found me? She found me.
And I laid a spell on you.
And she laid a spell on me. So that's it. That's how it happened. She laid a spell on me.
And now you love me.
And now I love her. Alex Ray Ryder, will you ever make a lockergnome Windows Phone app? I'd like to. Mobile Roadie, unfortunately, does not support Windows Mobile, but they have an open API. So if there's any Windows Phone developers out there who want a lockergnome app for Windows Phone, you can use the API and make one. I think someone made a lockergnome app, although it was kind of, it was okay. To me, the biggest value of the lockergnome app is those free push notifications. You can participate in the polls. So let's see here, active polls. The current one today was, will you support live TLDRs on Friday? I'm going to say yes. Press the vote button, and let's see what everybody else says. Yes, look at that. Hardly any no's and just a few maybes. That's pretty good. 78% of you said you would support live TLDRs. That's great. So the poll question we'll ask next, again in the app, will you buy an Android gaming console? It's just going to be a yes or no question. Because there are a lot of them that are going to be coming down the pike. Will you buy one? And to me, I think it boils down to, is the price right? And I think it's going to be I don't want to go as far as to say game changer, but I think it's going to help Android a lot. Because if you have a game that plays well on a console, and if that console gets merged with your phone, whatever that phone is, that becomes the console, and the controller controls that console, and you have it like using Miracast to broadcast onto a larger screen, that's going to help Android a big time. A big time. And I love doing live videos. So we have a free guide for everybody, in case you want to know. Online data backup, an essential and efficient solution to any business. If you are someone who's not sure about using online backup, or if you know a business owner who should be using online backup, a free guide for you to download at lockergnome.tradepub.com. And we've got the link, or we'll have the link in this video's description for you. Do not worry. Let's see here. Do you see any other questions, hon, as I'm kind of looking around here? No, I take that as a no. Your silence. Okay, great. See what we have in the news today as I scroll through for new questions. Skype is going to be built into the final version of Windows 8.1. And, actually, Diana, we should probably do a separate video on your impressions with Windows 8.1 on that notebook computer there. Separate video. We won't do that in this one, but this is, Windows 8.1, what do you think? Navigating around, doing things. From a fresh or a new user's perspective, that'd be nice. Android 4.3 available to test on adventurous Galaxy S4 owners. I've heard, and this may be a rumor right now, but I've got the Samsung Galaxy S4 over here. It's running, TouchWiz, and I'm not a fan of TouchWiz at all. But I hear that I'm going to be able to put Android 4.3 on this very phone. It's from T-Mobile, so I'm going to be connecting with Des, or Ask Des on Twitter, Ask DES. If you follow him, it's awesome. He's awesome. It's awesome because he brought Google Glass to Vlogger Fair the other week. He was a hit. And he's the one that let me try it there in the video that we uploaded to the channel. So I can't wait to try it on here if I have the opportunity to do it here in any official capacity. So I'm hoping to do that sooner rather than later. I know I can put Cyanogen Mod on here or CM. I'd rather not go that route. I'd rather go with stock Android. Just call me a fan of just keeping it simple, man. So just some news for you. It is likely going to be possible for Galaxy S4 owners to be able to flash in an official capacity stock Android or AOSP directly on the Samsung Galaxy S4. All right, what else do we have here? BlueStacks announces second Android gaming console, so now they have two. So they're going to offer one free forever with a software subscription. Interesting. And I argued this with Microsoft. Well, not argued like in the room. I told them, I said, they were doing the Zoom, right? In a day and age where everybody else was buying an iPod. And I said, give the hardware away. Just sell the subscription. That's the value. That's the hook. Who cares with the just give it away. Give away the hardware. And honestly, that's what Microsoft needs to do. They have to get more users using their stuff. Windows phones should be free. In fact, Microsoft should be paying you to use Windows phones. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that other than Microsoft, who needs adoption. Give away the hardware. How are you going to get adoption? In a marketplace where it's flooded with options. Flooded. We have more than enough options out there. How is Microsoft or any company going to get, users to adopt their platform? Give away the hardware. I'm a fan, obviously, because it saves you money, but it also hooks you in on the software, the services, and that general experience. You've got to give away the hardware. I know hardware manufacturers don't want to hear that, but the writing's on the wall. Especially if you're not a dying platform, but if you're a platform that's no longer as widely adopted as you once were. Google adds native Microsoft Word and Excel file editing to latest Chrome OS build, if you're a fan of Google Chrome OS. Google is suing the IRS for $83 million tax refund. Wow. They're suing the IRS. That's bold. Hey, good luck with that, Google. Hey, and by the way, when you're talking to them, just you want to put in a word, I don't think we can sue them. And I'm not saying if there's an IRS agent out there, I'm not trying to invite disaster there at all. Just saying, I wouldn't mind, a few more pennies on my refund. Be good as a small business owner, someone who's trying to create, opportunities in the marketplace. British Airways is launching wireless luggage tag with e-paper display. I'm very, very happy with British Airways and their forward thinking. I was very grateful to have that experience with Ungrounded. Almost 2,000 likes on that video, by the way. Almost 2,000. It's insane. On the Ungrounded, that experience on the plane ride. It was outstanding. Hyperspace Zero Minecraft asks, do you think unlimited data plans are worth it? Yeah. Hello. Diana and I have stressed out because she uses all the data. Don't laugh. You're using all the data. She sucks up data. That's what she does. She's a data sucker.
And you suck up bandwidth.
I do not suck up bandwidth. Okay, maybe just a little. When she's in Texas visiting family, she uses the wireless connection or the network connection. We no longer obviously you're using a network connection, the data plan. And we went limited because we're on a family plan, a shared plan. And for the most part, it works. We may need to bump it up, but I figured we went over a couple times. It was just an additional $15, but rarely do we go over 6 gigs together combined. I prefer unlimited for semi-obvious reasons, but I also appreciate the ability to tether this particular device as a modem. Now, the funny thing is, 20 years from now, it'll be a non-issue. Maybe even 10 years from now, a non-issue. We will look back on today going, how the hell did we get along? You guys want fun? Go onto YouTube and look for classic commercials for computing, home computing, like during the 80s. Man, you will laugh. That was cutting edge. It's what I grew up with. Jason Craven asks, do you think corporate America should embrace the YouTube era for more, or should they embrace the YouTube era more for real conversations about their product or services? Yeah, and you know what? When I talk to brands, and I love working with brands, I do. Sponsors are great. Hey, it's what I do. I love doing it. And when I talk to them about YouTube, I try to, teach them the value of YouTube isn't necessarily in that video. It's connecting with the community, answering questions, interplay, and I do my best to sew together what I want to talk about with what you want to talk about, and we come together and have this experience that hopefully everybody likes. Subtle reminder there. That's not so subtle. Sometimes you have to remind people. and part of that is just opening up your brand or your company, your business, to feedback. And, there's certain feedback that I'm more receptive to than other bits of feedback. And I know some people find it difficult to put themselves out there, certainly businesses or brands. But there's a fine line, right? There's a fine line between support and the lack of support. And if you are appreciative of a business, you have to understand what it is doing, and you've got to do everything you can in your power to help them succeed, right? Instead of tearing them down. If it's a business or a company that you support. And this is like over time when I engage with brands or I talk to brands, I'll tell them like, I really like this. I think it's great. Here's what you could do to make it better, right? It builds them up. It brings them that confidence that they're doing the right thing or they're going down the right path. Everybody needs, there's nothing that's ever going to be a perfect scenario, I think, with any particular business, but sometimes, you might overstep your bounds if you call into question, their business model. For example, some people would get upset because I'm not broadcasting on YouTube 24/7. Well, hello, I got a life. I can't. There's certain things that I simply cannot do. Or they may put into question the business model that I've built around the things that I'm doing. I can't change certain things. And I've done my best to make experiences that are going to work for a great degree of people. Does that mean it's going to work for everybody? Does that mean everybody's going to be happy? No. You can't make everybody happy, because if you try to make everybody happy, nobody's happy. So you just got to follow, your heart, your passion. Your business has got to follow a model and stay successful. It's got to do what it needs to do to continue to exist. And the moment that's called into question, you're really kind of destroying that relationship that you might have, between you as a supporter and the thing that you support. And the last thing you would probably want to do is be seen as unsupportive. That really, there's a fine line there. And unfortunately, YouTube sometimes brings out the worst in people. They don't think that they're communicating about somebody else on the other side of the screen, but you are. You're communicating with me live here, right now, in Seattle, Washington, talking to you, over YouTube, right? I'm having this interchange, hoping that you guys want to continue to do this. Michelle Stanley asks, what do you think of Apple TV and AirPlay? Is it a good buy? Hun, is it a good buy?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not just putting words in her mouth. I think the killer feature for iOS is AirPlay. Love it. I love AirPlay. And in fact, I'm hoping that Apple will do something to make it available across even more devices. I think it probably at this point boils down more to manufacturers supporting the standard. Miracast would be a more open standard that Google's pursuing, and other companies, including, I believe, Microsoft, is bolstering support for Miracast. In Windows 8.1 and beyond. The idea of, having this, I've got a web browser here, I did double tap, slide over, press the AirPlay button, and then, let's see here, what can I do? I don't know how seamless this is going to be. We're going to turn on mirroring, give it a second, and now I am mirroring my notes live from the iPad up onto the big screen. I mean, come on. How easy was that? Like, super simple is the answer, by now that I've shown you my notes on the iPad. So you could do that with an iPhone, the iPad, a Mac, an Apple TV, and it's just knowing that it's going to work. Knowing that, as I talk about the experiences, not just one device, but an archipelago of experiences, together play works. And am looking forward to Miracast proliferating the marketplace for other devices, and then Apple potentially eventually supporting Miracast, because why would they not? It's like they support Wi-Fi. They support Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. They support open standards. It's just as far as what they wanted to do with AirPlay, Apple needed to take the lead. So now they're waiting for the rest of the industry to catch up. So it's absolutely a value add. We use it all the time. In fact, Diana and I, I think we're going to start this today. If not today, then tomorrow. So we're going to listen to an ebook together. Not going to tell you which ebook. You're never going to know. Although I am going to tell you my favorite ebook today because I asked for recommendations from people. Go.tagjag.com/audible. Look at this. I got the recommendation. Do you see this, hon? Can you see it from that far away?
Yes.
Do you have to wait? What does it say?
Oh no.
Oh no. No,
Low
not oh no.
battery.
Low battery. No, that's not what it says. It says How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's an audiobook. So you can download How the Grinch Stole Christmas and thousands of other audiobooks on Audible. You can get a free 30-day trial with one free audiobook download credit. Go.tagjag.com/audible. I'll put the link in this video's description. Tons of ebooks. Now I'm going to be listening to just about every book that I wanted to read, but just never wanted to read. You know, there's a lot of books out there that I want to read, but it's just like, honestly, there's sometimes that I'm sitting in bed and I just want to listen to a web page being spoken to me. I'm not lazy. It's just sometimes I want my sensory, to come in through the... My sensory? That doesn't make sense. How do I want to say this? I want to be engaged audibly. And so why do you want to read a book? Not to say it's overrated. If you want to read, hey, it's good on you. Plenty of ebooks out there. I'm becoming a huge fan of listening to books because I'm driving and I don't want to listen to the radio. I want to learn. I want to experience. I want to get that stuff. I want to get it in my head, and I don't have the time necessarily to read. I want to hear it. Audiobooks. So now I'm going to be listening to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. On top of Star Wars, on top of Lord of the Rings, on top of all the books that you guys have recommended for me to listen to on Audible. So if you have any recommendations for me to listen to on Audible, please make them. I guess they have over 100,000 downloadable audiobooks on Audible. It's an Amazon product. Go.tagjag.com/audible. And I think that you would enjoy listening to books. Come on, am I the only one who likes the audiobook idea? I can't be. Give it a shot. No, try it. Try it. It's free. One audiobook that you want to listen to. I get you access. How could you turn that down? The answer is you couldn't. So don't. Ricky Griffith. Hey, Ricky. I think Ricky is the one. Is that? Yeah, his avatar on YouTube is when we met out in London. Ricky sent the... what's wrong? Is your battery dead? I'm sorry. Ricky, I think, also sent this thing that I just got today. He sent what I showed in the vlog the other day, but then he also sent this to me. No, that's your iPhone. No, that's a Nexus 7. Yes, this is a Death Star bottle opener. That great? Had it on my Amazon wish list.
That's cool.
I think it's awesome. So thank you, Ricky. I believe you are the one who sent this along today. Very, very geeky. Love it. My favorite bottle opener ever. Although, you know what? They have a Han Solo and Carbonite bottle opener as well. Okay, I'm done with this. Too hot. Sorry, Wicket. Didn't mean to freak you out there.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, what?
We're going to have to wrap it up pretty quick.
Oh, we got 5 minutes left because then we have to take the dogs to get their shots. I mean, to the fun place with ice cream. No needles at this place where we happen to be going. See here. I don't know if we got any other questions that are coming in here. It's difficult as time kind of rolls on to make sure we get to everybody we need to get to. Seeing a lot of the questions coming in, but some of them are duplicates, and I definitely want to spend this time. Got a couple more questions that we can answer. I want to answer questions that have not yet been answered. Did you see any other ones that popped out, hon, before your battery died?
No, someone asked if you've ever been in a hammock.
I have been in a hammock. They freaked me out. Let's see here. The Local Film Network asks, what do you think YouTube will be like in 5 years? I would like to see better community engagement, like community tools to build community. I think it's going to be very similar for what it is, not just serving up video. And I think that's the thing that many people forget. YouTube's not just about video, it's about community. I talked about this so many times. But it's difficult to see what's coming down the pike in my crystal ball. I would certainly want to see it improve. But I just don't know, other than what I've stated before, how I would want to see it improve beyond, again, what I've said before. Dwayne Estabrook asks, road trip vlog. I'm not a big road trip fan, although Diane road trip.
Oh, to Canada.
No, well, we can do that, yeah. I said no, and she went, she's like, well, Canada, and I said no, and she goes, we will go at some point. Go on a sushi bender up to Vancouver. The Extreme 28, do you believe in aliens? Yes, I do. Gamer8Y asks, what do you think about Disney making Star Wars? I've mentioned this before, but I think it's a good thing. Outdated Mobile asks, what do you think about iOS integration in new cars? I think it's a good idea. In fact, it's better than the software that I have in my car right now. All car software that didn't suck. So it's nice to see that iOS is going to be integrated in car experiences. So that may very well dictate the next car I get. Having iOS integrated right there on the dash. So easy, so clean, so simple, so familiar, so much more clean than current car computer experiences. Alex Hydron asks, do I stand a chance of getting my questions spotted? You do stand a chance. Mark Simcac asks, why are you so cool? Diana, why am I so cool?
I don't know.
Okay, well, there's your answer.
A few people asked on Twitter what software you're using for the stream.
I'm using the YouTube Broadcaster. YouTube provides this to producers to stream live on YouTube. Oh, I should have said this in the beginning because people will complain. I can't broadcast in HD. That's just for beta. And unfortunately, it creates a very unstable experience. So I decided to steer clear of using the HD beta from YouTube at this stage. So it's just 360p. Sorry about that. If anybody complains about the HD or lack of HD in this video, you can tell them that is why. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm never sure if I'm ever going to make it beyond a half hour or an hour, depending on the questions that kind of come in. Thanks again for remembering to like, comment, and share all our videos. We really appreciate that. I'll do this again live next Friday if we hit that mark. If we hit the achievement of 1,000 likes. I don't know. It's a good achievement for me. It just tells me that I'm doing the right thing. And that's why it means something to me. It means a lot. You mean a lot to me. I'm not just saying that either. But I'm going to go ahead and round her down as I do have to get going. And then tonight, I'll be installing this. I can't wait. Actually, I can wait because I'm afraid that I'll have to move other parts of the network and then it's just going to be a pain potentially. And once the wireless network works, you just don't want to mess with it again. I don't want to mess with, that's the name. I don't want to mess with stuff. That should be the title for this video, right?
Yeah.
Chris doesn't want to mess with stuff. Chris just wants it to work. That'll be the title. Chris just wants it to work. We started that way, we're ending it that way, and in the middle, hopefully you had a bit of fun. Thank you for being a great part of this community. We really appreciate your support, which appears to be undying, even though someday you're going to die. But as am I. I'm probably going to die before you. And on that macabre note, we'll see you later.